What's up guys, Gabriel Varga here. Recently I put out a video, Back to Basics, a beginner's guide to kickboxing. Today we're going to follow that up and we're going to go intermediate. And this is just basically building on all the beginner stuff that we did. And these videos are so beneficial right now because with gyms being closed, technique can kind of drop and drop and drop and we can make little mistakes and errors. I'm guilty of it and everybody else in the world is. So today, instead of just running through things like how to throw a jab, we're going to talk about how to move forward and throw a jab, how to move forward, get your head off the center line. It's going to be a more comprehensive guide to kickboxing at a slightly higher level. So follow along, have fun. Let's get this going, guys. All right, today we're going to be covering slipping, striking, footwork, defense, catching kicks, and finally, how to effectively utilize fakes. Before we get this all underway, guys, if you're enjoying the channel, if you're enjoying the content that I'm sharing, please make sure you get subscribed, give the video a like, and let's get right into it. If you guys want to get back to the real beginner basics, you missed that video, you can check it out here. Like I said, we're doing intermediate now, so we're skipping ahead. What I want to start with is our punching. Our punching is not now going to be single shots. We're not even going to worry about throwing two shots. All right, that is something you can piece together by yourself. What we need to do to get intermediate is start worrying about what our feet are doing and what our head is doing. Because if I simply just stand here, if this is all I have, just hoop, 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 there's many issues there. The first one being that if I'm trying to get to somebody who's right here and I'm standing back here and I'm trying to hit them, how do I get to them properly? I have to learn to push my feet forward. When we move forward and we punch, the most important thing is we don't jump. We don't leap in the air. We want to be able to keep our weight low, extend our stance, shrink our stance, and just as my foot makes contact, as soon as the foot touches the ground, I time the punch and I land it. But sometimes that's not enough on punches. Sometimes if you have the shorter arms and you go to step forward and throw your shot, you get hit in the face because the other guy throws the same thing. So an intermediate way to get your head in a safe position is as you punch, you drop your head to the side. And that's what I want to start with today. I want to start with getting our head off the center line, which is very similar to just slipping from side to side, except as I slip, I punch. And you can just start off like so. Hands tight to your head. As you slip down, make sure one hand stays connected to the head, because if you slip and you drop your hand, you're coming right into a potential round kick. My hand stays up locked to my head. I slip and I throw my jab. I lift up, I go to the other side, I slip, and I throw my cross. And I work from side to side. Let's do 10 together. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now to make that an even higher skill level, you have to be able to move in, throw your shot, and get your head off the center line. But right now, for the intermediate level, I think just starting from here and working that head off the center line is enough. Keep in mind, and this is very important, you don't have to slip the punch and continually move your head every shot. Generally, it's on entry. When I push forward, that's when I'm worried about what my head is doing. Once I've moved forward and I've got my range, then a lot of times from there, I can start throwing and then slip if I need to, or block if I need to. But it's not slip to the side, slip to the side, slip to the side, slip to the side. If you start doing too much slipping as you throw combos, you're gonna find your weight, your balance, your power is gonna go down. So from here, let's just put together, push forward. As I push forward, my head moves off the center line, and then we'll add the cross hook with our head nice and high. So we go 5 counts, jab, cross, hook, head off the center line. And 1, just nice and smooth. 2, move forward, move back. 3, 4, and 5. And this is a very important thing to know because you will not always be the taller fighter. You might be the tallest fighter in your division, but you're eventually going to end up sparring somebody who's taller than you. When that happens, your long range and just punching from here all the time doesn't work. You have to learn to move that head. Now in the Back to Basics beginner video, we talked very quickly about how to throw a knee. But today I want to get more in depth on it and get very focused on what your hands are doing, because we didn't discuss that too much last time and it's something that needs to be addressed. Very often when I go to gyms and I see people throwing knees, they imagine they're grabbing and they pull. They pull down to the hip. And that's generally what they practice. And that idea is great if you have your hands around the back of somebody's neck and you're driving them in. You're pulling their head down lower as your knee comes up to get a knee to the face. But the two issues with this is, number one, most people aren't even allowed to knee to the face. If you're in the gym, you're sparring, you're not going to do that. If you're an amateur fighter, you're also not allowed to do that. It's only for the professionals who need to worry about head knees. Issue number two, and this is far more important for me, when my hands come down to hip level, my head is completely exposed. I want to be very cautious when I throw knees that my hands are in a position of protection. They're guarding up my head because a knee is within punching range as opposed to a kick where I lean back. If my hands are really lazy, my head's still out of range. But for the knee, I'm right in that punch zone. So I want to make sure that my hands are doing something proper. Now, we're going to go through two general choices. We're going to imagine that we don't have this double hand clench, but that our hands are here. From here, what I like to do, my personal preference, is when I throw a knee, let's say I'm using my right knee, my right hand stays where it is. The opposite arm is going to come in front of my face, and that right there is going to sort of balance me out. It's a counterbalance because if I just throw my knee hard by itself, I'm going to struggle to get back. For me, I find that the shoulder takes the lead, you're going to fall forward. But if you can twist your shoulder the opposite direction of the knee, you get a nice counterbalance that you can pull out of very quickly. And on top of that, the hand that pulls across your face becomes protection for any straight punches that come down the middle. And same thing if I go off my lead leg, I do a little skip and I throw my knee, this hand stays right up high, just below my vision. So I can still see through, I can still see where the gloves are, but enough that if any shots come, they're gonna bank off my elbow. Now the other option that I also really like is using whatever knee I'm throwing, using the same arm to control their neck. So from here, instead of going opposites, if I'm throwing my right knee, the left hand stays by the head. The right hand reaches out. I can either control right on top of the head, or I can go across their head, control around the back of the neck. I reach out and I throw my knee. I also like this one because as I put my arm out like this side is protected from hooks, this side is protected from hooks. Straight punches are not going to happen because the elbow's connected there. The danger is the uppercut. But I don't reach, pause, and knee. I just step in, grab knee, step out. Step in, grab knee, step out. And if I'm using my left leg, whether I'm skipping or walking through, I step through, I control, I pull them in. When I pull them in, I'm breaking their balance as well. So they get drawn down, they get kneed in the stomach, and it's very hard to get power on your punches from here. So you guys can play around with both of these at the intermediate level. Instead of pulling your hands down to your hips or imagining that double hand clench, your hands are up, you're working off your punches, a 1, 2, 3, and then I throw my knee. Or maybe a step through cross, long guard. Or a double jab, something, and then a long guard. The long guard is something that you will see the Thai fighter, somebody like Buakaw, use very often. Buakaw actually uses both arms in front. I like to have one back personally. And then the cross block is something that you'll see more of the European style fighters utilize. Right there, they just cross in front of their face. Very, very important when you're throwing these to protect your head because like I already said, you are within punch range. All right, guys, let's quickly move into defense. For the defense today, I want to start on the hands. I draw my arms up, I protect my head. This is sort of my turtle shell here, especially when I close off. And this is a fine guard, but if I just do this and somebody starts hitting me, it's very easy for me to just become a punching bag. I'm just getting jolted from side to side. So what I like to learn to do is to take my hands against my forehead and slide them up. And I use my elbows as almost something that's going to ricochet the punch off. If a straight punch comes to me and I can just shift my hips and lift an arm, I still see through my right eye, but my left eye is blocked. I block the punch, and because my hips have turned, I have my counter shot. Block, counter back, block, counter back. I can't let this hand disconnect from my head because if I take the shot, it's actually going to hit my head and hurt me. So my hands stay right tight to my head and I practice sliding up, knocking the shot up, counter. 1, 2, or other way. 1, 2, 1, 2. I can throw any style of punch back. I can come with the body shot, the head shot. One of the reasons I really like these is if you get somebody who's sloppy, somebody who doesn't throw punches really sharp and tight to your head but kind of lets them come over and loop behind. Much more common as an amateur. You're going to get people who are sloppy, and instead of the punch landing here or here or here, it comes behind the head. If I keep my hands like this, the whole back of my head is open. But if I block like that, I've protected everything. And I've utilized this in a number of fights to make sure the back of my head is not going to get caught, because getting hit in the back of the head is terrible. It really throws you for a loop. But unfortunately, it's very hard for judges to notice whether it's the front or slightly back, and you don't want to be the victim of those backward shots that are trying to plead with the judge that, oh, he hit me in the back of the head, but the judge is already in the middle of the count. It's not going to go well for you. So just learn to utilize arms up to protect the back of the head. Throw your counter shot. So for this one, on your own, what you can do is practice right from here. Just set your weight down, bend your knees, hands to your head, and just practice shifting those arms around. Never let them leave your head. My hands never ever leave, and then I practice throwing my counter shots in. And this is what you should be doing when you're shadow boxing. I'm shadowing, and I go, oh, block, block. Back to shadow with attack, and then I'm working defense. Lots of blocking in between, so I'm not just thinking constantly offensively. In terms of blocking kicks, what I want to quickly run through today is how to block a front kick. We didn't discuss this last time, and this is just a little bit more intermediate than what we did last time. Last time we just dealt with round kicks. On the front kick, I want to talk about scooping it. And you might go, oh, super beginner, I know this, but let's break down the little details, because the little details make all the difference. Let's start off very quickly with, if I'm in my fighting stance and somebody throws a front kick at me and I just stand here and I try to scoop the kick out, there's a good chance I'm still going to take impact of that kick. And I've talked about this before in my breakdown videos. You can check out one of those there. When the kick comes, I want to hollow out. I'm just creating a little bit of space. I'm not jumping backwards, because jumping backwards puts me out of range for my counter shot. I just hollow out. My lead leg pulls back. My bum scoots out. And now from there, my stomach has moved back 2 or 3 inches. And then I can go through on my scoop. Now, very important on the scooping technique. If I drop my arms and I just come down low and I push the leg to the side, I'm probably going, look at, I did it well. The leg moved to the side, but no. This is the most important part to me of this whole thing. Keep in mind, a front kick doesn't always come to the stomach. It can come up to your jaw. If you lower your arms and then scoop low and you misread the kick and it comes up to your face, you're going to eat that front kick. But if you keep your hands high here and you start scooping down right in front of your face, if the kick comes high, it's just going to catch your forearm and not your face. So whenever you scoop a kick, you go a whole circle. My arm starts here, circles down all the way back, down all the way back. And that's my motion right there. I'm using my forearm upon impact, the soft side of my arm, right by my palm, slightly higher up the arm. And from there, I'm just blocking and letting my momentum pass through to utilize motion to knock that front kick out of the way. As I utilize that scooping motion, protecting my face, I hollow out at the same time. And then from there, it's very easy for me to scoop and counter back because I'm still within range. I scoop, I counter back. If I do the other side, I block the right round kick, then I just do a little snap. And I don't have to worry about putting in loads of power. It's just that their kick missed and mine landed. All right, guys, that was some intermediate striking, a little bit of intermediate defense. We will definitely add on to everything in my technical advanced guide. Keep your eye out for that soon. From here, I want to talk about footwork. And footwork is nothing that you need to nail down when you're a beginner. But as you get more advanced, you should definitely become more and more proficient at your movement. Now, when I'm standing, I don't want to have both feet going straight up and straight down like a bunny rabbit, but I also don't want to jump from left foot to right foot. I have a few different options. The first one is just to let my weight go back and forward between my feet. That's kind of more of a Muay Thai style, but that's fine if you're one of those guys who likes checking kicks like that. You need to have your weight constantly shifting. If you want to bounce like so, you need to get the weight through the balls of the feet, disconnect your heels, and it's just a little motion forward and back, forward and back. You should also be able to move sideways, and you can just take little angles, and you're very fast in this position. You're very quick at moving in and out and sideways. But very important to remember that the balls of the feet stay on the ground. The heels can disconnect, and that gives you a very explosive forward and backward motion. And if you guys are looking for a drill to learn to utilize your footwork well, what you can do is you can just sort of bounce on the spot, and we'll jump forward and then jump out, and we'll do that, let's say 10 times together. So you get into your fighting stance, let's go forward and back 5 times, and then backward forward 5 times. I like that a little better. So moving forward, small motion, don't worry about big jumps. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now backward, forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to run you guys through any advanced footwork yet. We start getting into things like angling our feet or taking jumps from one side to the other, cutting angles, taking 45 degrees. All of that will be in the advanced guide. For now, just get used to bouncing up and down. And then when you have the bouncing down, get used to planting your feet. Remember, you never want to bounce and throw shots. I bounced to stay mobile, and then I plant when I want to throw. If I want to move forward and hit somebody, I move forward, throw some shots, and then I get back to moving. Bouncing is on the outside. Stationary is on the inside, for the most part, especially at the beginner intermediate levels. Let's very quickly move into 2 different drills, one slipping a punch, one slipping a kick. For slipping a punch, I want you guys to move your head to the side, but instead of just thinking, I'm going to the side, I want you thinking about the counter shot. So as I slip, my shoulders twist. If I'm standing sideways, you can see this even better. I slip my head to the side, but at the same time, my shoulders twist, and I come down like this. Now this gives me the explosivity to come up with my uppercut or up with my cross, utilizing my legs. So right now, instead of going like this, just with our shoulders square, I want you twisting your shoulders from side to side as we drop. Let's do 10 of these. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now with the uppercuts, come out with the uppercut. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The slipping does not need to be rushed. You can take your time as you're learning. Now, talking about slipping kicks, the only one I want to talk about today is what happens if a round kick comes at head level. When I'm teaching my kids programs, I'd like to refer to this as a matrix slip, because you see Neo in the movie leaning way back. It's very similar to that, except we don't want to put all the strain on our back. If I just lean myself back like I'm going to limbo and keep my hips relatively positioned where they normally were, it's very hard on my lower back. So what I can do to slip those head level or chest level kicks is maintain my stance. And now as I slip backwards, as I turn backwards, we're going to utilize that same shoulder motion that we just did. We slip and we turn our shoulders. So think, turn your body sideways as you slip. So when I end up back here, I'm putting the weight onto my back leg. When I end up back here, I've twisted myself. So instead of being like this, where I feel it in my back, when I twist here, I feel it in my obliques. And I have this oblique muscle now to draw me back up. I'm so much faster when I turn sideways. If I come down and up, it feels very slow. When I go sideways, I can get back very quickly. Now the hands are also important. We definitely want to keep our back hand right by our head in case the round kick comes. But on the other side, we got our shoulder to protect. So we can let our lead arm drop, and it almost becomes a counterbalance to help us get back quicker. If I keep both hands up, the kick might catch this arm anyway and knock it to the side, but also now I have to fight myself back up with all this weight over my head. I slip, and I get my shoulder high, but my arm down, and then I can lift back out again. I see the head kick coming, back and up, back and up, back and up. This is just one that you can start slow. Take your time, don't rush through it. And then start implementing it in shadow boxing. I'm working away, whatever I'm doing, I imagine, uh-oh, kick's coming, back, and then I either come back with my punch or I come back even better with my own kick. If you are drilling this with a partner, what you want to do is kick at each other at chest level so that when I'm slipped back, if there's any mistakes, it just clips my shoulder or my chest, as opposed to here, if I misjudge and my partner kicks at jaw level, I take the shot right in the chin. That's no good. So if you're drilling with a partner nice and low, remember to turn the body sideways. As I slip backwards, drop the lead arm, eyesight there, and then I can pop right back up. Weight comes to the back leg. It's a very easy motion to create whatever that is, 6 or so inches plus that I need to slip that kick effectively. From here, let's move into catching the kicks very quickly. This is much easier done with a partner, but you can still practice on your own. I want you to start with the idea that the kick is coming at body level. It's very easy for me to stand my ground, let the kick come, and then wrap it up. But that is a very, very beginner level of catching this kick. What we want to add in is moving away from the kick. So as the kick comes to this rib cage, I take a step away, My right foot leads. If he's kicking off his right leg, I step away. At the same time, I grab that leg, I wrap it up really tight. When I get to this position, almost think thumbs up, and I drive that arm as high as I can, and I take my back, and I don't stay here, I lift up. Why do I do that? Well, it's all about putting this guy in a bad position. If he is here and he's nice and comfortable, he can lean in and throw punches. But if I lift his leg and he starts having to elevate and it starts hurting his ankle, it's very difficult for him to get any leverage to punch. So I see the kick coming, I step away, I wrap it up, I lean back, I lift my thumb high, although I'll keep my fist closed. And the only other thing is, this is very similar to what we talked about before. You don't want to misread a middle kick and then have a high kick come up. So when we were clearing the front kick, we cover the face. Same thing on this one. I don't want to let my hands drop and then come out to the side, because if I misread a Brazilian kick, I've dropped my arm, now I'm going to get smacked. I start my hands above my head, I reach out, and I gather the kick up. If I misread it for some reason, he's going to catch my forearm as opposed to my face. So I step, I wrap the leg up, I lift it. From there I can do whatever I want in terms of counter shots, sweeps. We'll talk about that in the advanced breakdown. And just remember, if the kick comes off the left leg, I step to my left. If it comes off the right, I step to my right. What I'm doing is I'm just going with the weight of the kick. So take off maybe 20 to 50% impact. It's surprising how easy it is to take this kick when you take a little step out of that power zone. And finally, guys, from here, I want to talk about faking. Faking is very important, because if every time you go to move, your opponent suspects, oh, he's going to come and try and hit me really hard, they are constantly on edge, they are constantly ready for you. But if you are moving around and you're faking and you're throwing little punches, little kicks, little lifts of the knee, and your opponent is constantly going, ho, 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 ho. They're constantly nervous, you're constantly just throwing fakes, and then when you do commit to a full shot, they don't necessarily know that it's coming. It can come from out of the blue. So how do we practice faking? Well, there are a number of ways to practice faking. One of the easiest ones is just to pump a punch out about 50% of the distance. So if I'm standing here and I need to get to there to land, if I just go like that, and I just pump my arm out halfway, you're gonna get a reaction. I can sell it even more by adding some footwork in. So instead of me being here where I'm gonna land, I'm back here. And now I just do a little footwork fake. Maybe I pump my shoulder forward. Just something like that. And they're gonna bite on that. They definitely will. They're gonna see something coming and they're going to react to it, which will give you an opportunity. So as you're doing your shadow boxing, let's try it right now. Let's just throw a couple fakes. We'll go left arm fake, right arm fake, left arm fake, right arm fake. We'll do 10 of them. Pump your arm out halfway only, and then drop back. Try and really sell it by putting in lots of shoulder motion. If I just do this, there's not gonna be much of a fake. If I throw my whole body into it, they're much more likely to believe. And we won't worry about any footwork or any head movement. We'll just throw the hand out halfway. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're not connecting on those, but what we are doing is potentially seeing the guy react. Maybe he thinks the straight punch is coming. He closes up his guard. As he closes up his guard, I see the side of his head open up, and then I come with my hook. Or maybe they see the straight punch coming to head level, and they lift their arms, which when I fake, gives me the body shot. Fakes are all about creating openings and opportunities for you. For the intermediate level, we're gonna leave it there today. We're just gonna think I'm moving around. You can add footwork in if you want by pushing forward. I do a little push forward, and I just pump, pump, bam, 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 and then I follow up. For faking on the legs, one of my favorite leg fakes is to fake a front kick. I lift my leg up like I'm coming with a powerful front kick to their stomach, whoop, and as soon as I see them react, I come with a straight punch off the same leg. Hup, boom, and just catch them in the head. Hup, boom. Gonna do the other leg too. Hup, boom. When you do this one, you really want to sell it. Don't lift your leg and keep this foot tucked in and let them see the top of the foot, show them the bottom. When I see the bottom of the foot, when somebody lifts and shows me the bottom of the leg, whoop, just like that, I right away go, uh-oh, kick's coming. If I do this, not so much. These videos, guys, we are packing so much information into whatever this is gonna be, 20 minutes, half an hour. Feel free to watch this video a couple times, go through slowly, refer back to the basics one whenever you need to. I could add so much information into these. I could make them 2-3 hours. I'd be run down by the end of this. But I prefer to give you guys small little amounts of knowledge, small little videos so that you can sit down, you can go through the whole thing, have fun, not be too burnt out when we finish. If you have a certain area that you would like me to focus on, you're going, oh wow, fakes are really fun, I'd like to learn a lot more of those, let me know down in the comments below. I can focus in on any area if there's enough people who want to see it. I just need some feedback from you guys. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a like, get subscribed. Good work, guys. Keep your eyes up for the technical advanced guide. I will have that out as soon as I can. Not this week, but coming very soon. Thanks for joining me today, guys. If you haven't had a chance, check out a little bit more of my channel. Lots of information being shared, lots of fight breakdowns, lots of things that I know you will like, you will enjoy. Until next time, guys, train hard, and I'll see you back here soon for another episode.